Most 7 and 8 figure CEOs and entrepreneurs are almost invisible not because they are not successful, but because they are thinking still small. In this video, I'm going to share with you the 5 limiting beliefs that stops even the biggest CEOs from building their personal brand and authority on LinkedIn. Let's start firstly by the first limiting belief. And this belief, I see it every day when I meet CEOs. They think like that: my work should speak about itself alone. And I completely understand because I came also from that background as well. But let me tell you a great story. Recently I met like a great CEO. He had great influence, he had great network, and he had great business, and he's generating a 7 figures business on an annual basis. And he was thinking, how can I expand my business beyond the 7 figures? And he had like great idea just to bring more investors into his business and take it to another level. And the moment that he start approach investors out of his circle of influence, he was struggling a lot. And the reason not because he had bad idea or a bad business, but those investors, they didn't know anything about him. And the simple reason, when you just reflect about it, people will always Google you. People will always look at your LinkedIn. And the moment they start to look at his LinkedIn, he didn't have any authority. He didn't have any positioning. He didn't have this power of authority that shows his great values. Yeah, he's in reality, he has great influence and great values and great knowledge, great experience, and great business. But investors, they didn't realize anything from that when they started Googling. In a very simple way, they didn't know anything about him because they are almost like cold people. So the issue here, it's not about that you have a great business or it's about great knowledge. It's about the authority that you are building. Are you building real authority with the people beyond your network, or you're not? Because let me tell you one thing about it. If you're not loud and proud about what you're doing in a very simple way, what will happen is the world will ignore you. So be loud and proud about what you're doing. The second limiting belief that I see common between CEOs, that they think posting online feels like bragging. And I completely understand this. Some CEOs, when they think about posting on LinkedIn, they will think that I will be acting like egoistic, self-centric, or it's a self-promotion, or sometimes I'm bragging about myself, and I got that. But there is a big difference between branding and bragging. And when I speak here about bragging, you are always talking about your achievement without any great values. But branding, you are talking about your achievements while delivering values. So the difference between bragging and branding is the positioning, then the story that you are giving to your audiences. So when people see your posts or the publications that you're doing it, do they see themselves as a hero in your story or not? When you are bragging, you will be always the hero in your story. But when you're branding and building a brand, your audiences will be the hero and you will guide them along the story. So when it comes to self-promotion, you think about it, yeah, self-promotion could be categorized under branding or bragging. And the difference, as I said, it's the story that you narrated. So publishing is not about bragging. It's about educating and shaping your category. The third limiting belief, which is, I don't have time for building my personal brand. And I totally understand how much you could be busy in that way. You don't have time, maybe you're not free for doing that at all. Maybe your business always is consuming your time and it's very hectic. But let me be very honest with you. What stops you is not being busy. What stops you mainly, it's not in your priority list. And because in a very simple way, our must-have is driving us all the time. So if this is not in your must-have list, then you will find all the excuses that you are busy, you don't have the time. But let me give you like 2 ways in order to get over this limiting belief. Number 1, in order to find the time, you have to book it in your calendar in order to build your personal brand. Find the best suitable time that you're free on it. Just give it like a ritual. Put it in your calendar and commit to it. This is the first one if you want to do it by yourself. Number 2, you can outsource this to an agency that it's fully reliable and can build your personal brand in that way. In that way, you are buying back your time. You can give it to someone who is really professional and do it in the right way. Not just freelancing because it's your reputation, but I mean like agency that can take you to another level. In a very simple way, I want to just emphasize on that. Always think about it in that perspective. Change your mindset from fact-based thinking into question-based thinking. When you, instead of just telling yourself, I don't have the time, which is fact, you are not allowing your mind to find a way and to find the time. This is fact, which stops you. And you can move forward to, how can I find the time? And by this way, when you ask yourself, how can I find the time? You're allowing your mind to find a time and to find options. By this way, you will find the time. The fourth limiting belief that most CEOs, they are always equipped with is that, what if they don't like me? What if I post on LinkedIn and if they don't like me? What if they don't like my post? What if they don't engage in my post? What if they don't like the way that I narrate it, which is completely understandable. But nobody can deny that reach and impressions, it's great to have. But my question to you, is it that the only thing that you want to have to build your authority? If you want to build like a great impressions and reach, I'm giving you like a great secret. You can share like videos for cats and dogs and pets that triggers some emotions. And by this way, what will happen is a lot of audiences, they will start to engage with you and they start to comment. But my question to you, do you want this? Do you want to build that kind of audiences? Or do you want to build like authority? Do you want to build like subject matter expert in your niche or in your category? By this way, when you start to drive values, you shouldn't just focus on the engagement or the impressions or the likes or the comments. You don't need this. What you need to have is focusing too much on driving the values. Because by this way, when you drive values, you start attracting the right people and the right audiences in your network. And from here, opportunities start to open up. So the best advice that I can give it to you, focus on the values and don't focus on the impressions. Because if you focus on the values, opportunities will start follow you. And the last thing that I want to give it to you, that you don't need to be an influencer. You don't need to target everyone, but you need to be a thought leader in your category. So you need to target the people and the someone that you need to have them in your network. The last limiting belief, which is people already know me. Most CEOs think like that. And let me confirm back to you, yes, your circle of influence know you. But my question to you, do you have an authority beyond your circle of influence right now? If your answer is no, then I'm asking you to think in a different way. So your target audiences, you can generate tons of opportunities beyond the circle of influence that you have today. How can you do this? By building your online presence, by building your online personal brand, which is by default will influence your offline presence when you start to meet people. And you cannot imagine how many opportunities that you are missing every day because you are not building your authority on LinkedIn. You cannot imagine how many opportunities that they are waiting for you on the other side, but they're waiting for only one thing from you. Only one thing is to be visible to them. These opportunities could be like great investors, partnerships, PRs, public relations, could be more businesses. You never know, but you have to be visible to them. And if you saw yourself in one of those limiting beliefs that I spoke about, then let me tell you that you are not alone and you are not behind. You are just ready for the next level. So most CEOs grow the business, but few grow their names. So we help 7- and 8-figure CEOs build personal brand that attract inbound opportunities, secure media recognition, and create lasting great opportunity. Our done-for-you CEO authority system turns your name into a magnet of visibility, credibility, and trust across LinkedIn, Google, and media publications. If you want to become the go-to name in your domain and building an influential personal brand in your domain, then what you can do, you can book a call with one of my lead advisors right now here in the link below, and we will be able to help you build your influential personal brand and take you to the next level.